I think we need to talk about something because I don't think people are being completely honest about it. I'm a massive advocate for physical media. Books, CDs, films, owning your stuff, building your own space, curating something that actually reflects you. But what's happening right now, or what happened, it doesn't feel like love anymore, it feels like performance. And those are two massively different things. They might look the same on camera, but they're not the same thing at all. I'm Darth James. Remember to like and subscribe. Membership and Patreon are available. Leave a comment. Okay, I'm going to be real. For me, physical media, this is my whole thing. Maybe this is just where I am in my life now. Physical media was never about having loads of stuff. It was about choosing carefully. It's about standing in a store or sitting online at stupid o'clock and actually asking yourself, do I need this in my life? Not for a day, not because it's trending, not because it looks good on a shelf behind me, but because it means something. A book you come back to, an album you sit with, properly sit with, no skipping, no background noise, just listening, a film you rewatch when everything else feels a bit off and you need something familiar. That's what it was. It was slow, quieter, and a bit more weight. And then social media gets involved. And look, this isn't me doing the whole social media is evil thing. It's more subtle than that. It just changes things because suddenly it's not even about enjoying something. It's you have to show it, you have to frame it, light it, package it. And once something becomes content, it starts to lose something. And you've probably seen it. The whole analog revival. People posting their setups, their brand new bags, CD players, MP3 players. Everything looks clean, everything looks untouched. And there's always that moment you realise this isn't someone returning to something old, it's someone buying into a version of the past that's been repackaged for them. Link in bio, Amazon storefront, everything I own is down below. And you just sit there thinking, this isn't escaping algorithms. It's just a different flavour of it. And I think that's the thing that bothers me the most. It isn't even the buying, it's the illusion. Because it looks authentic, it looks slow, intentional, meaningful. But underneath it all, it's still driven by the same engine. Newness, attention, output. What can I show today? What can I post next? What keeps people watching? And physical media was never meant to live in that world. And books. Books have absolutely been swallowed by this. You scroll for 5 minutes and you see it. Perfect shelves, colour coordinated. Spines, stacks of special editions that look like they've never been opened. And again, I'm not against special editions. If you've got a bit of extra money and you want to treat yourself to a beautiful version of a book that genuinely means something for you, that's brilliant. That's memory. That's attachment. That's you saying this mattered enough for me to keep it properly. But that's not most of what we're seeing. Let's be real. A lot of those books, they're sent out. They're part of PR lists. They arrive, they get unboxed, they get displayed. And then they just sit there, looking perfect, doing nothing. Probably donated later, or in an unhaul video a year from now. And I think that's the bit that feels off. Not just wrong, just empty, because books aren't supposed to be decorative. They're supposed to be lived with. Maybe this is just me being an aging millennial, or more tired, or less interested in pretending, but I don't actually want more stuff anymore. I want fewer things that actually matter. I want a shelf where every book has a reason to be there, even if it's just because it's beautiful. Let's be real. Even if the reason isn't impressive, even if it's messy, even if it's I read this during a really bad time and it stuck with me, that's worth more than full shelves of beautiful, pristine editions that don't mean anything, they're just set dressing. Same with music. I don't want everything all the time. I don't want 10,000 songs on shuffle while I'm half paying attention. I want to put on an album and actually listen to it. Track 1 to the final track. Even the songs I don't like as much, because that's where the connection is. That's where you start to understand why something was made the way it was. But that doesn't translate to content, does it? You can't really film, I sat here for 45 minutes and listened. So instead, it becomes my top 5 aesthetic albums. Here's what I bought this week. Here's my setup. And again, look. It looks right, but it feels hollow. And then there's the bigger pattern. Anything that starts with meaning eventually gets flattened into content. It gets simplified. It gets aestheticized. Is that a word? It gets turned into something easy to consume quickly, because that's what the algorithm rewards. Speed, clarity, repeat. Not depth, not time. Not sitting with something long enough for it to actually affect you. And the uncomfortable truth is, a lot of us are part of this cycle, even me. Turn on a camera and suddenly you're aware of how things look. What's in frame, what's behind you, what people might say. And it's very easy to slip from I love this to I need this to look like I love this thing. And that gap, that's where it starts to feel fake. Because influencer culture at its core isn't about keeping things, it's about replacing them constantly. New haul, new setup, new edition, new trend. And physical media was never supposed to be about that. It was supposed to be about holding on to things, letting them age with you, letting them pick up meaning over time. And look, this isn't me saying people can't enjoy things. If someone wants a beautiful collector's edition, go for it. If someone likes the aesthetic side of it, that's fine. But I do think it's worth asking yourself why. Not in a judgmental way, just honest. Do you actually love the thing, or do you love the idea of being seen with the thing? Because they're very different experiences. If you're building a library, make it yours. Not impressive, not aesthetic, not optimized for a thumbnail. Yours. Messy, personal. Full of things that don't make sense to anyone else. That's where the value is. Because if we're not careful, the things we turn to for meaning, books, film, music, all of it just become more noise, more stuff to scroll past, more stuff to show, more stuff to forget. And that's the part that feels kind of tragic, if I'm honest. Because the whole point of physical media was that it wasn't forgettable.